everyone, welcome back as we reach the business end of the tournament, and the tournament is the big one. I got Justin Langer all the way from Perth. Justin, how's the weather looking there?
Perfect, Vijay. It's really nice. It's coming into our summer. There's a lot of excitement for the World Cup. Obviously with Australia now making it, Australia playing South Africa, and of course India versus New Zealand. There's a lot of excitement. Summer's coming in Australia, so there's a lot of cricket talk going on.
The reason why I asked about the weather, because it's getting hotter here. Last four, as expected, Justin, as expected, but a lot of people were thinking, or you feel there's a bit of a surprise here?
Well, I know. I'd like to go back on our very first episode and see who we predicted, but I think I would have predicted England. I was very, very surprised England bowed out like they did, but I'm sure I predicted the other three, and I had New Zealand just outside. So New Zealand keep doing it, don't they? New Zealand keep doing it. Every World Cup, New Zealand, they're big tournament players. And that's why I think this first semi-final, India versus New Zealand, is going to be intriguing. India would be unbackable favourites at the moment because they're playing so well. They've got all bases covered. But New Zealand, the underdog, they keep finding a way to make World Cup finals. So it's going to be a great game to watch.
I have the same sort of feeling. You can say that the way Indian team is going, that they might start as favourite. They will start as favourite, but you cannot count this New Zealand side out. How impressive are you? The comeback that Australia has made in this tournament, and now the way they're in a very, very good form at the moment.
Yeah, Vijay, we talked at the very start of the tournament, didn't we? And the question was, why does Australia have so much success in World Cups? I mean, they're the most successful country in World Cup cricket, and they tend to just be great tournament players, right? They find, and what I'm seeing here is very similar to when they won the T20 World Cup. The squad is almost identical. So they've got like India, they've got a very closely knit, they've got a very seasoned squad. Now they had a few hiccups on the way in, and there was a few question marks on the way in about there was some chopping and changing going on. And they lost the first two games, so there was a lot of noise around them. But like when they lost against England in the T20 World Cup that they won in Dubai, they learned from those mistakes, and then they've just found this momentum. And the funny thing about Australia is they've got so many match winners. Like India, they have so many match winners. I mean, Glenn Maxwell's a match winner. David Warner's a match winner. Mitch Marsh has been a match winner. Then they've got the fast bowling attack. Zampa's bowling as well as I've ever seen him bowl. I thought he is in magnificent form, match winner. So they've got a well-balanced team. They've got match winners, and that's why they're finding this momentum, and they're doing what they've done so many times, coming good at the right time of the tournament.
Well, that's for the starters. Let's get into the main course now. Let's talk about India. How impressive, 9 out of 9. And the reason why I just asked you how impressive, you've been in that setup. You've been in those teams which dominated, which have these numbers where you have won, 10 in a row, 11 in a row. What happens in that dressing room when you are winning like this? What's the atmosphere like when you're on the roll?
Well, I think the number one, when you're in those dressing rooms, you expect to win. You walk onto the field and often you've won before you even get onto the field, because the opposition, your opponent, oh my gosh, we're playing a great Australian team, we're playing a great Indian team. So they're on the back foot already, and you walk across the white line expecting to win because you have this confidence. But the other thing that people often discount, the great teams, mentally toughest teams, win games they should win. And India keep doing that. There might have been times where India might have just slipped a little bit, but they haven't done that.
I want to talk about KL Rahul's special inning, 62 ball 100.
Imagine that. Imagine in a T20 game, he might get a 36 ball 100 for Lucknow Super Giants. Yeah, I was very happy. I messaged KL after the event. He's just playing so well. And what I admire so much is that he had a long layoff with his injury, and he's come back. It was almost like the layoff, and has freshened him up mentally, and now he's just playing, as we all know. I mean, he's so elegant, he's so classy, he's so good to watch. So to see him score that 100, I always predict KL, and I predicted again that he is just such a good player. I literally can't wait to be coaching a team that KL's in, because I've always have. I found him as an opposition coach to be, until he's out, the game's not over. So I'm looking forward to working together with him for the LSG.
So our first segment, top 3.
I'm going to go the opposite way here. So I think number 3 is Kane Williamson.
Ooh, yes.
Never underestimate, and you and I have talked about this a lot, Vijay, the importance of the captain.
Yes.
And in the last World Cup that I was involved with, we dropped him early in the T20 World Cup in Dubai. We dropped him early. Josh Hazlewood dropped him at fine leg, and then he played. So we had them on toast, and he just played, and he was so aggressive, and it just, again, played perfect cricket shots and put us under a lot of pressure. So watch for Kane Williamson. He's the captain. He often stands tall. The next one is Bumrah. Class act. And depending on who bats first and who bats second, Bumrah is another one, as an opposition coach, always gave me nightmares. Until he was not bowling, then I was never relaxed. Because when he was off, so Bumrah, superstar. I think number 1 in this game. I'm going to go again. I've gone for Kane Williamson. The man who's got India off to so many great starts with fearless batting is Rohit Sharma. He's played so well, and when the captain stands tall like that and plays with aggression and he's so hard to bowl to, because if you bowl a fraction short, he pulls it. If you bowl a fraction full, he can hit you aerial from cover to fine leg. I mean, he's playing so well. Captain v captain, that's going to be a big battleground for me in this semi-final.
Just to tell our viewers that we have not talked about our favourites before this program has started, because I got the same line. I might have to change around the order here, but okay, I'll go with Rohit. He was my pick. Just not only because he's a captain, he's the kind of start, and he's setting the tone like you just said. And it's not this World Cup. JL, before this World Cup, where we had a 3-match series against Australia, he didn't play the first 2, played the last one, and he started in a different manner. We've not seen him playing like this for a bit, but the way he started, and after second game, Ishan Kishan was playing, and he was giving an interview, and he said, Rohit came up to him and said, "Don't look at me, I'm going to play like that, you play your game, I'm not going to change." So it's one that what you say, it's one what you do, and I think you're more known by what you do, and I think this is what he's doing as a leader. His body language, he really wants it. He missed out in 2011, a World Cup that India won, played at home. He's a local boy, he'll be playing in Mumbai, and I'm not adding all these things behind him to put pressure on him. I'm adding all these things behind him to enjoy that thrill, that crowd. And the other advantage when we talk about India and New Zealand here, JL, is the home advantage. Wherever it'll be a close game, I think the crowd will urge India, and there'll be an advantage, I feel, in this semi-final, or if India get into the final as well. Bumrah, you just mentioned about Bumrah. He's my bowling captain. Having him in the side, the whole bowling unit looks completely different. And then you mentioned about Kane. On and off sort of a World Cup for him so far. I was injured, came back, and then got a thumb injury, coming back again. But having him on the park, this New Zealand side looks completely different. They look up to him, not only because he's one of the most successful captain or a player, but his presence, that calmness, that respect that he's got in this dressing room, and he's always been around. And when it comes to this big moment and everything, I think he's phenomenal. So these 3 players, these are top 3 players that we all of us will be looking at. Anything about that dressing room diary that we normally say? Anything about the New Zealanders?
We have the brotherhood between Australia and New Zealand, the old Anzac spirit. Then you have the history of Australia versus South Africa. Whoa. Now that's something a bit different. You think about it. There's been lots of angst. We go back in time to the Rebel Tour when Australia toured South Africa, and there was a lot of controversy over in this country. And then, of course, more recently, we saw the combativeness between David Warner and our own Quinton de Kock, Lucknow's Quinton de Kock, 5 or 6 years ago and then Sandpaper Gate happened. So there's lots of rivalry, there's lots of combativeness, and there's going to be the spirit. Whoa, it is going to be.
What about that World Cup game in England? Oops, I dropped it.
And who'll ever forget that? I mean, Herschel Gibbs. Who will ever forget that catch? And then Steve Waugh, who went on and scored that amazing innings and took Australia to, and then they won the final easily. So against Pakistan. So yeah, there's plenty of salt and pepper and chili between South Africa and Australia.
3 predictions for the first semi-final, Jail.
I think India will win. I think they're in too good a form. They'll win. They're at home. As you said, that 12th and 13th man and woman, which is the crowd, will also get right behind India. Number 2, I think Kane Williamson is going to play a back-to-the-wall innings and lift his team one way or the other, batting first or second. He's got that feel about him at the moment. And my third prediction is that Rohit Sharma, the captain, is going to take his team to the final with 100 in the semi-final.
I'll start with Kane Williamson. He's definitely going to play the captain's knock. He'll at least get a 50. That's what I want to start with. Bumrah come into the picture. Boom, boom. Again, I know it's not. He plays for that franchisee that plays in Mumbai. People love him there. People love him everywhere in India. And I think he's always up for a big game. So I see Bumrah coming to the party when it needed the most. He's going to be there. And I got, I didn't talk about this guy in league faces that much. But he cherished big moments, Virat Kohli. I see Virat Kohli at least getting another useful contribution. And when we say useful contribution, at least a 50. Is that the benchmark in a one-day cricket? Are you okay with that, Coach?
We'll give him that. If Virat's getting 50, India are posting a competitive score.
All right. Hopefully, I'm thinking next time when we meet, I'll be in blue and you'll be in yellow. That'll be some program. Well, thank you so much, JL, and thank you very much, everyone, for watching and listening. Till we see you again. Bye-bye.
See you guys.